Hello, friends and friends. I assume we're all friends. So, fun story. Matt's computer did a Windows update, and it was like, hey, you know what would be awesome if we didn't change his mic in Discord, but we did change his mic in Audacity. So the MP3 file he sent me to edit was from his webcam microphone, which wasn't ideal. Luckily, we have a master copy that we use for our patrons, and so I'm gonna send that out. The levels will be a little bit off just because it can't be edited or anything like that because it's just one single audio file. So you'll notice that like Daniel like clips out during his and I'm Storm Rage, and maybe like some of our drop audio levels are a little bit off, but it should sound pretty good still. It's just kind of a little hiccup. It's Windows being Windows. Thank you to our Windows overlord. Thank goodness that we have the Windows AI, because I am sure this would have been all so much worse if not for that. Phew. All right. Thank you for listening, and we're on to the podcast. Welcome back to Squelch, the video game book club. I'm Dano.
I'm Matt at Arms.
And I'm Storm Raid. And we're here to remind everyone that Dispatch is a game and that games are supposed to be fun.
This week, we are finishing Dispatch, which is truly sad because it has been awesome. We are playing through, talking about chapters 7 and 8, two fantastically fun chapters. I'll be honest, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 have all been great. Spoilers for the end of this episode where we give rankings. Good. Game good. Game Dispatch game good.
Yeah, I think people will be a little surprised at where Dispatch ended up for me.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Game good.
Game good.
Game good. Game
Next-
good.
Do we cut the podcast there? Because I think that does it. I think that sells it. I think that's everything everybody needs to know about this game.
I truly don't think we need to say much more, but we're gonna, because that's kind of the whole thing here. Like, I don't. It's the shtick.
But Dano, think about how funny it would be if we end our Dispatch series with a 5-minute podcast with us being like, "Game good, okay, goodbye." Next week we're starting Clair Obscura.
Spoilers. Honestly, yes, that should be it. We're done. Stop listening now. Thank you.
Next week, we are playing Clair Obscur Expedition 33. We were going to play Dragon Age Veilguard, but the game doesn't play on my computer. What's wrong with the game, you might ask? Well, it doesn't acknowledge my controller. Like, the controller doesn't work. I hear you say, we'll play with mouse and keyboard. Cool, fine, I can do that. Except for it also doesn't recognize the right mouse button on my mouse. So I can't use the right mouse button. So we're not playing Dragon Age Veilguard. I would like to congratulate the fine people at BioWare, though. So there were 4 of us who started on this journey to play all 4 Dragon Age games. Origins, 2, Inquisition, and Veilguard. Myself, Electric Sheep City, Storm Rage, and Matt at Arms. Out of those 4 games, there was one game, one of those 4 games where all 4 of us were able to play it. One. The 3 of us were able to play Inquisition without problems. Storm Rage couldn't play Origins.
Correct.
Sheep couldn't play 2. We all could play Inquisition, and I couldn't play Veilguard. So, congratulations, BioWare. You're truly the trashiest and worst of AAA developers. Way to go. You did it. Someone give these people a trophy because you truly, truly suck.
To be fair, it worked fine for me on all 4 games. I don't understand.
Cool, Matt. Cool story.
including Veilguard, which honestly, the beginning of it, since I started playing today, was a lot of fun. So,
Matt, these vibes you bring are not helpful. It's like
I know.
it's when somebody is like, "Hey, I really want to go to that restaurant, but every time I've gone there, I've gotten food poisoning." You're just like, "I eat there all the time, and it's great." It's like, cool. That really didn't help me in any way, shape, or form. But
Fair.
I'm glad that you could brag about the experience that you have had.
Yeah.
Thank you for being the straight white man of this podcast.
I mean, I have a role and I stick to it. So
I don't know what your problem is. Just take some Imodium.
But this is just a defiance to me as a teenager that when my parents went to this one restaurant, I got sick every time, but they still went there every other month. So
yeah. So
I'm
I'm
sorry you experienced that.
I know.
So I am massively disappointed we're not playing Veilguard. I'll be honest, I've been looking forward to playing Veilguard since it was released because I wanted to see if it was bad as people said it was. From what I understand, not as bad as people said it was. Maybe someday I'll find out. Apparently, the problem is that I have some Razer peripheries of some sort, and apparently BioWare, in their infinite, incredible developerness, can't handle one of the largest keyboard and mouse making companies, I guess. So you never quite feel like you're going crazy when it's like you tried it, the controller doesn't work. You go to their game, the controller does work. And then you're like, okay, fine, whatever. I guess I'll play mouse and keyboard. This won't be great, but whatever. And then it's like hit the right mouse button to do a heavy attack, and I hit the right mouse button. I'm like, what? And then you keep on clicking it, and you're like, am I the one? My right mouse button works. I know I use this on a regular basis. This is a thing I can do all the time. Why can I not do it in this AAA game that cost many dollars to buy? What? It's just, I just don't. What? It's so truly my congratulations to BioWare. I kind of done defending you. I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
I truly I'm over it. You don't deserve it. You just truly don't deserve it. You know what does deserve it though? Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I'm about 90 minutes into that game, and holy buckets, what a first 90 minutes. So, because we don't know what's coming, so next week, play 6-ish hours, and and then I guess we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, I imagine that whoever plays the least, it'll probably be myself or Matt, if I was to guess. We'll probably talk about until that person's point, or if there's like a good plot point, like a natural ending, we'll probably hit there. But this is the first time that not one of us has played a little bit ahead or anything along those lines for this first week specifically, because even if we haven't played, usually Dano plays through a little bit and is like, hey, this is what I want to get done. But life is lifing. So thank you for being patient with us as we figure out exactly how we're going to play this game.
In a fun way. That I can tell you that much based on the first 90 minutes. All right, let's go. Thanks some patrons.
Thanks. I am pretty incredible.
Thank.
You know who's not terrible like BioWare? Our patrons and our Twitch subs. They are awesome. They can do things that work and work for everybody because they're awesome people, unlike BioWare developers. So thank you, patrons and Twitch subs, for being awesome. We appreciate you very, very, very much. If you're better than a BioWare dev, head over to twitch.tv/DanoPlay or patreon.com/squelch to support the podcast if you so want. You certainly don't have to. We're just happy you're here listening. Unless you're a BioWare dev, then we have questions. We have true honest questions.
If you are a BioWare dev and want to apologize and give us money at the same time, that'd be great too.
Yeah, no. If you're a BioWare dev and you want to support the podcast, that sounds great. Like a great idea. But it's I'm not gonna make you Mr. BioWare dev or Mrs. BioWare dev or Ms. BioWare dev, whatever, however you want to kind of go about that. But yeah, the rest of you, thank you very, very much. Let us get into the lore.
This one's a real page turner.
All right, for the last time, we are going to go through our cast of characters for Dispatch. Our main character is Robert Robertson III, also known as Mecha Man. He is the dispatcher for the Z Team, a team of former supervillains being rehabilitated as superheroes. And then we have Beef Robert Robertson's III's dog. He is the goodest boy. Blonde Blazer, she is a blonde superhero. She can fly. She's our supervisor. She doesn't actually have superpowers. Well, she does, but she wasn't born with superpowers. She gets them from her magical necklace. It gives her super strength and super speed, the power of flight, makes her 2 inches taller, and also makes her blonde. So, cool. Then we have Coupe, also known as Coop. Former assassin who flies, uses knives, and is Punch-Up's ex-girlfriend. And then we have Flambe. His skin doesn't burn. His eyebrows do, though. He got into a couple fights with Mecha Man and lost them both. He is holding a grudge.
And some fingers, too.
Yes, and he has lost 2 fingers. Yes, forgot about that. My bad.
We got Gollum. He's a mud construct and drinks a whole truck of beer. Invisigal has powers to be invisible as long as she can hold her breath. She has asthma. She's cool. Malevola, a little demon with a giant sword that can cut the fabric of space and to move different locations. He's also Sonar's Narcotics and Items sponsor. I don't think she's doing that good of a job. And she loves True Crime Project podcasts.
Yeah.
He's an alien who looks like a human. He can fly and is very strong.
Who is an alien, Matt? Who's an alien? Who's an alien? There,
Phenomenon. There we go. Prism, she's a pop star that uses light to project copies of people. She's really useful in dispatching.
Next up, we have Punch-Up. He is a former circus performer. He was granted super strength by a witch, but made him small as a consequence. Royd is a massive muscular boy, and he doesn't really, I don't think officially has super strength, but he's very strong and is a master engineer. He is fixing Mecha Man's suit. Yes, Stano.
He does have super strength. He was canonically originally going to be part of the Z Team, but they changed that during the writing process. Yep, that's why he is on the cover.
Very cool.
Because he was going to be part of the Z Team.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sonar is a bat boy. He's a crypto bro. He's a Harvard graduate, and he's either mostly a humanoid-shaped bat or a giant monstrous bat. Water Boy is a janitor and a junior superhero, depending on your choices. He's very wet. He's the wettest of boys. And then Chase, he's a former superhero by the name of Trackstar that worked for our dad. He is also our former babysitter. And he is a speedster who moves 50 times faster than the average human. But when he uses his power, he also ages 50 times faster. So even though he's about 39, he looks like he is 80 plus. His catchphrase is "keep up." At the end of the last episode, he collapsed onto the ground after using his powers to save Invisigal.
We may be superheroes, but we're nothing without SDN's real hero, the Dispatcher. So, Dispatcher, where do we start? Well, it appears we've got our first call from a subscriber.
I'm sorry, it's never not funny when he says subscriber.
Subscriber.
All right, Chapter 7. We start with crying in a flashback to 2003. Young Robert and young Chase are in Robert's house, and they're talking about how your football leaving town is exactly like your father fighting crime. You know, you get sad about it, and there's nothing you can do about it. Chase is heading to the store and asks young Robert what he should get. You, of course, pick Twinkies because what are you, a degenerate? You don't need a beer or some cigarettes. Chase runs off and comes right back with a box of Twinkies and a soda. Cut to Blazer and Robert sitting with Chase as he's in the hospital in critical condition. Robert regrets not spending more time with Chase, but Chase being around reminding him of his dad. So that's why they lost touch. Robert talks about how Robert used to make Chase go. Young Robert used to make young Chase go get things for him, and Robert feels guilty about making him use his powers like that. Blonde Blazer tells, get over it. Basically, go ahead, Storm Rage.
In the flashback, did you guys all? So Chase asks Robert, "What do you want from the store?" Did you guys all choose Twinkies?
I did.
Yes.
So I chose beer this time because I was like, I'm curious what happens here. If you choose a substance that is not Twinkies, then Chase will go and get you. If you choose beer, he'll choose malt. He'll grab you a thing of malt liquor, and then I'll hand it to Robert. And Robert takes a drink, and he goes, "Oh, this is disgusting. I hate it." And he goes, "Yeah, I knew that." Insert several expletives. "That's why I got you your favorite." And then he tosses him a bag of Twinkies.
That's fun. I thought that might be something like that might happen. That's cool though.
All right. So Robert tells Blazer. Anyway, we're back to Blazer tells Robert that Invisigal has been suspended, and Robert should cut Invisigal because of the incident. Robert tells Blazer it might make things worse, but he's not ready to make that decision yet. Blazer reminds Robert they have cut a superhero for less. See Coupe or Sonar. Reminds Robert they have cut a. But anyway, where was I? Blazer gives Robert a $5 bill for the vending machine and tells him that Chase is proud of the man that Robert has become. Robert then gives a good cry, and we cut to the opening scene, to the opening title logo. We come back after the title. We go to a vending machine, and Robert's trying to put the money in upside down, and it's not working because he's putting in the money upside down. Waterboy takes the wet 5. They put it in the microwave to dry it off. Robert asks if he's okay. Waterboy says he's just mad, and so's Robert. Waterboy asks if he thinks Chase did the right thing. Robert can respond in several ways here. Personally, I chose, I think he did. As the option, either way, Robert says he really doesn't know. Robert puts the money in face up this time, and surprise, it works. Robert. However, the Twinkies get stuck in the coil. Waterboy throws the chair through the glass, and he says he feels kind of better after doing that and says he's going to go clean it up. Robert then takes a pile of snacks to his desk and boots the terminal, briefs the team about Invisigal being suspended and that Chase is in the infirmary. Go ahead, Stormray, or Dan.
This might be my favorite part in the entire video game. Because it's just like, everyone's been at that. It's like, I just need junk food. The vending machine doesn't work. And then, like, Waterboy comes up with, like, this super sweet moment, just hands him this sopping wet $5 bill. And it's like, thank you. And then they just kind of stare at it as it spins in the microwave. Puts it in, it works, it doesn't fall down. And then Waterboy just, it just swings it at it. It is so funny. It is so good.
It's so
because
good.
like
it's so many great small moments put together that it's so good. It's delightful.
All right. So the shift begins, and it's a really rainy, cruddy day. Everyone's pretty quiet on the comms. Robert gives a speech right at the beginning. Like, we still got to pull together. And, even though he wouldn't say it, he loved you guys. And, don't tell him I said that because he just kicked my butt. Von Blebe asks what happens if Chase actually dies. Malevola says he'll be taken care of. Everyone asks how she knows that. Because, she's got connections maybe. Gollum refuses to do some missions early and eventually runs off drunk and runs off to the high school. You can have the option to go save Gollum from himself.
I
also
love
Invisigal's not on
Malevola.
the shift, by the way.
I love Malevola so much here because it's such a small thing of what happens if Chase dies? Because if Chase dies, he'll be taken care of. Here he goes. How do you possibly know that?
Yeah.
I've got connections. What are you? And the implication that Malevola is actually from hell or knows people there is, it opens up an entire narrative structure that we don't have time for, but I am fascinated that they put it in here.
Well, we do know she is much older than she appears to be, since the 3 generations of that one gang have she has known 3 generations of that one gang
That's
leader.
true, yeah.
So we can assume that she is much older than she appears. So I think her being just an actual demon is kind of canonical at this point.
So after the shift wraps up, Robert and Beef are leaving. Punch Up is thrown through the conference room window, and then Robert walks in and asks what's going on. Turns out Punch Up and Gollum had a small disagreement about Invisigal. Malevola says that they all want Invisigal off the team. If you have Phenomenon, he abstains because he is hoping to get the game of Magic of the Gathering in before the end of the night, and honestly same. Gollum is the only one that wants to keep Vizzy on the team and won't stand in the way. Flambebe agrees. Malevola brings up Coop, and it was cut for far less. We have a big choice here. Do you guys cut Vizzy or defend her?
I
Stormer.
defended Vizzy because I was in my game through. I was dating her, and I was figuring, like, you know what? We've given everybody like all the chances in the world, and it wasn't even the dating thing necessarily. It was like we're kind of like giving everyone all the chances. At the beginning of the game, I told Blonde Blazer I didn't think it was a good idea to cut either of them, but she goes, "Well, I've already told them, so we're doing it." And it's like, "Oh, okay, cool. I guess we're doing it then because you're the boss."
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I was like, I'm like, we're here. We're the Z team. We make stupid mistakes. So I did defend her, which, boy, howdy, that bites you in the butt for the next scene, the next dispatch. I tell you what. Yikes. What did you do, Storm Rage?
I did the same. I just have a hard time cutting Invisigal. I need to do it one of these playthroughs, but I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yep. Yeah, I also chose to defend. And then Robert makes his speech about how proud he is of the team and how they come together as a team. He says he doesn't kick people when they're down and believes that her heart is in the right place. And now they're some weird blanked up family. Not when it's time not to cast blame, but to heal because of Chase. That drops team morale across the team, except for actually Gollum, I think. Gollum is like the only one that's not unaffected by this. Door opens and closes.
Also, neither is Flambebe. If
Correct.
you told Flambebe that you were Robert earlier, or that you were Mecha Man, and he comes back, he says, "Look, you guys took me back when you didn't have to. I think it's fair to take Vizzy back."
Yep. Door opens and closes, and Robert realized that Vizzy was in the room with them. Robert follows her to the locker room where she's getting changed. She says to stay since it's fitting the first time she saw Sim was in his underwear. She says to listen to the team and that they don't want her there. Robert responds that Vizzy knew the risk that what she was doing. She didn't know the risk that Chase and the others were willing to take to save her. Vizzy says she doesn't deserve anyone's forgiveness. She reveals she was there the night the Mecha Man's suit was destroyed, and she played a part of it. There's actually a cut scene where that shows Vizzy crawling over the Mecha Man's suit at this point. She also has a red ring implant on her chest, and used to work solo for years, but got the implant and said they would have to work for the red ring for years, but this one job of blowing up the Mecha Man suit would pay off all the debts. She quit the moment it was placed, and she walked out before it blew up. The augment stopped working when she joined the program, and the object immediately stopped working, and then she joined the Phoenix program the next day. Storm Rage.
One of my favorite very small things that I noticed in this is in one of the opening scenes, and we talked about it back in chapter 1, Robert's in the Mecha Man suit, and there's a section of him looking through the hole that has been blasted in the Mecha Man suit, looking at Shroud. In this chapter, it's the exact opposite perspective. It's the exact same thing. And then it even shows the same shot, but this time we see Vizzy's invisible outline around it. And it's such a cool little like callback to, we saw that moment, we felt that desperation from Robert's side, and now we see it from Vizzy's side, and it's just such a cool storytelling moment to bring that exact shot in, show that she was there, just invisible, and then see the invisible boundary. I liked it.
Super cool. It's super cool. There is a choice here. You can either choose to forgive Vizzy, say we're done, or I don't know how to feel. Go ahead, Dan. What'd you pick?
I forgave Vizzy because I am a forgiving person. Or Robertson III is a forgiving person in the playthrough that I played. I forgave her because I was like, yeah, no, like that's the whole thing here is Robert Robertson being a forgiving person and, you know, seeing that the Z team is more than their past. So why would he be like, yeah, no, yeah, of course. Nope. Forgiving. That's what I did. So, yeah.
Storm Rage?
I also did. I also really like the reasoning because he says, I know you did messed up stuff in the past, and they will use harsher language than I will. I know you did mess up stuff in the past. I knew that before. Because it affected me doesn't change things. It's about moving forward. Am I supposed to be mad because it affects me? I knew it affected other people, so it'd be hypocritical of me to be mad about it now. I get it. We'll move. It's about moving forward. And I really liked that rationale. It wasn't just, I'm totally fine with it. It's, I knew you did bad stuff and I accepted you then. Now that I know more about it, doesn't mean that I won't accept you now.
Yeah, I didn't know what to feel, and I really like that scene too, where it's just like, it's a little more quieter. It's like, it's Robert just, I don't know what to feel. And then you go into the conversation where it's in the past and not the same person he was that night, and neither is Robert. Robert says he's not letting Vizzy get cut. Vizzy just wanted Robert to look at her the same way he looks at Blazer. She walks off and disappears, and then she pushes you against the locker and kisses you. Do you guys kiss back?
Of course I did.
Yeah, yep, because of my playthrough, that was the romance choice. So, yes.
Yep, same as well.
Did none of us romance blonde Blazer?
None of us did this time.
I did in my second playthrough. That was what I was doing, but I never finished 7 and 8 because like the week just got busy. It was a crazy week at work. Sarah had a crazy week at work and was sick, and the Olympics were on, and just didn't get a chance to finich the game. But yeah, so I was doing Blonde Blazer in the second playthrough, but didn't get a chance to finish it up this week.
So yeah, I also chose to kiss his back. So she disappears after that as we take Beef for a walk, or for a poop walk on the sidewalk, and then eventually Beef goes to sleep in Chase's lap. It's honestly pretty sweet. On the cab ride home, Blazer is asking about a press release and asks you if you should mention Invisigal or Chase. Her texts appear to be kind of in the inebriated state. Do you guys choose Vizzy or Chase for the text?
Chase. I said, tell them the hero that he was.
I chose, I think, what did I say in this one? I think I said Chase as well, because he was, because specifically we were talking about, because it was about who came into the rescue. So it was about Chase. It took me a second to kind of piece through this one in my head because I was like, well, I whoever was the hero I wanted to mention them, but so I said Chase as well. But I think the reason it's a question is because you're basically outing Chase as track star. And so I think that's why it's a question if you're doing it or not, right?
It is that, and it's also like medical stuff because they know a hero has been injured and they want to know which hero. So if you say Chase or track star, then that kind of indicates like track star is basically dead currently. If you say Invisigal, then you can say, hey, she was hurt, but she's fine, and you can kind of play it off and then just not delve into Chase's personal medical stuff kind of thing. I think that's kind of the way that it's going about it.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah, because that one kind of, I felt like you had to kind of like headcanon your way through what you were doing with that a little bit more than I feel like a lot of this stuff. And a lot of times, like, you'll kind of make your choice and then it makes sense after your choice. And I feel like with this one, it didn't necessarily clarify a lot, and you had to kind of put 2 and 2 together to kind of, get 4, and then take that again to get 16. So
Yeah. So we cut to Robert at the Sardine, the villain bar we went to in episode 5, right? Yeah. And the bartender and a beard guy, a guy in a beard, whose subtitle is Beard Guy, and the bartender are discussing the trap that was laid out, and everyone falling for that deserves to get killed, like suffocated pillow type situation. Robert crushes a glass with his hand. Beer Guy's lost it. They lost someone in there, and that he must have lost somebody in there, and the next drink's on him. Bartender pours a beer and pours 3 shots and slides one to Beard Guy. They notice Blazer on the TV and toast the internet fandom of Dispatch and 5 minutes of driving engine-powered watercraft with Blazer. The bartender looks at Robert and says, "What's up? And you don't like watercraft?" And then you can have a choice here. You can either throw a full glass in his face or ignore him. What do y'all do?
I ignored him.
I also ignored him because I could tell that this mysterious bearded gentleman was kind of egging me on, and I didn't want to give him the satisfaction here.
Feel like it was very obvious that all of a sudden this guy with no name has lines, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I know who that guy is.
Oh, it's also, hey, that's Matt Mercer.
I don't know Matt
wait
Mercer's
a minute.
voice, but so that one did bother me, but I didn't catch on to that. But I was like, wow, look at this guy who all of a sudden has lines out of nowhere at the end of the game.
Right? So after you glass the bartender like I did, the beard guy says he's great at predicting things, and he saw that coming. He comes behind the bar and pops the bartender in the head with a pistol. Robert looks up and sees a red ring implant to the side of the beard guy's head. Beard guy says he respects Blazer. She's a real superhero. Robert turns and notices all the villains are staring at him, and they all have red ring implants. Beard guy says that non-slip maps will be useful for the hideout next time, but that sounds like really dumb. Hideout. Go ahead, Dan.
So this scene with the bartender, like if you ignore, you can he keeps on trying to get you to it gets more and more egregious and more just obscene. And eventually if you ignore all of them, the last thing he says is truly obscene. And if you ignore him, Beard Guy goes, "Wow, even I thought you were going to crack on that one."
All right, so Cooper Sonar slides up behind Robert and knocks him out. Robert wakes up getting his butt kicked while Shroud taunts him, saying they can't beat bad guy by being good. You can't fix human nature. You can't stop evil. You can only control it. And it slides into Shroud's face. It's great.
Wait. The beard guy was Shroud the whole time?
Shocker, I know.
What? All right.
Blown
you
away.
Say so.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Right? So Shroud shows Robert and brandishes his father's gun. Was loaded with 6 shots. Shroud says he used it to kill Robert Robertson Jr. Shroud shot him 4 times. 5th shot went through the bartender's skull, and he's like, it feels kind of bad for that one, but I had to make sure it worked. And he leaves the last shot for Robert. He wants to know where the astral pulse is. They play a game of Russian roulette. Shroud pulls the trigger, and nothing happens. Shroud then shows a video of Visigal taking the pulse and hiding it before her run-in with Shroud. Shroud thinks that she is playing both of them. Soon after, the door kicks in and Blazer enters the bar. She's here for Robert. She threatens the bar with SDN heroes, agents, and other gangbangers that the Red Ring have annoyed. Coop does a great line read of, "Okay, Mom." It's great. It's absolutely wonderful.
It's so good because whoever the person that you cut is says something pretty ridiculous and over the top here, and Shroud looks over and they just cower like a little puppy dog. And Shroud looks back at Blonde Blazer and goes, sorry. They wouldn't if they weren't terrible, you wouldn't have cut them. And it's such
Exactly.
a good like burn on it. It's such a good moment.
All right. So Shroud looks back at them and they step back. Blazer starts to glow. Blazer comes in, kicks in the door, knocks out the bouncer, starts walking in. She starts to turn Super Saiyan. Shroud applauds and says, "Nice job, great show. Everybody get out." So back at the SDN billboard, go ahead,
The
Stormage.
cool line that you skipped here is
Yes.
so I know that I'll eventually fall, but either all of you can leave now or half of you can die here. And Shroud genuinely applauds and is like, that's a superhero. That is a superhero entrance and a superhero line. And there is a genuine moment of appreciation for Blonde Blazer, not in like the villain of like, oh, yeah, cool superhero. But of like, this is, if all superheroes were like this, yeah, I get it. But
Yeah.
that's not the case. So he's still going to break down the system.
And he also said it's also would be closer to 34%. which was a great line.
Mhm.
So then after Blonde Blazer brings Robert down, they fly out and they are back at the good old SDN billboard. Blazer and Robert discuss the video they watch, and Vizzy steals the pulse. Blazer says she was going to take Robert to the sign, but it's not as sturdy as you might think it is. Suddenly, explosions start everywhere. Blazer flies up the city to see the city in chaos. Red Ring goons are causing chaos everywhere. Robert reaches up and tells Blazer he's not going to be left there again. They grab hands and we fade to black.
Very fun chapter, I thought.
It's a very good chapter.
I get to talk about the beginning of Chapter 8, and then Storm Rage is going to finish Chapter 8 off. So Chapter 8 begins with Mr. Whiskey. So if you play through the game, you know who Mr. Whiskey is, even if you don't know his name yet. So Mr. Whiskey is a dispatcher for SDN. I think a superhero, ? We don't know for sure. I could look it up. I'm going to assume he is because it's more fun that way, because Mr. Whiskey is always seen wearing a cat fursuit, and it's just kind of wonderful. Like cat slippers, a cat mask. It's great.
it's more of like a mascot costume than a fursuit.
Fair
really.
enough. It is a mascot cat costume. You're right. That is true. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
The only power and skill under Mr. Whiskey on the official wiki is expert barista. Mr. Whiskey is an expert barista able to skillfully prepare Irish coffee, and that is it.
Yeah, and that's what he does. So Mr. Whiskey is preparing coffee in the break room and mixes a little Jack Daniels into one of the mugs and brings that mug to Robert. Robert gives Mr. Whiskey a surprised look after taking a drink, and Mr. Whiskey gives Robert a knowing nod before Robert sits down and gets to work. What's up, Matt?
If it's Jack Daniels, it's not Irish coffee then? It'd be Tennessee coffee.
Oh, wow. The official wiki is wrong. I don't believe it specifically
go in there
says
and
Jack
change.
Daniels in the game though. It just looks to be
It's a
Jack
square
Daniels.
bottle. It's a square bottle.
Yeah.
It's a square bottle with a black label on it.
Yeah.
Come on.
Matt, this is real. That's not how fire extinguishers work, energy, and I don't know if we need it back to back.
Well, I mean, come on. I called out the $5 bill earlier. Come on.
So Robert sits down to get to work, and everything hits the fan. We have multiple Red Ring attacks all around the city. So many that Blonde Blazer leaves the office to go out and help. And only 3 members of the Z team are available: Punch Up, Prism, and Golem. Golem admits he might not be making memories right now due to taking some gummies before going to bed. Robert makes a little quip about this is it, and Prism goes, oh, really? And he goes, oh, okay, you know what? You're right. Fine. Thank you for coming in. It's like, do you know what time it is?
Follows up with, okay, we've got the 3 best heroes on the
Yes.
roster. And Prism goes, You know, we all know that you'd be saying that for any 3 people that were here right now. You don't need to say that, Robert.
Robert follows that up with, yep, since we all know that, we don't need to talk about it anymore.
To be fair, they are my 3 best heroes.
If you supported Vizzy in the previous chapter, the team is now mad at you. So that gives you a debuff on everyone except for Golem and Flambebe. Flambebe will have the debuff if you did not come out as Mecha Man. So even though he doesn't say that he is like supporting Vizzy or not supporting Vizzy, he still has the debuff if you didn't come out as Mecha Man. If you did come out as Mecha Man, then it is what we said earlier. He did not want to kick Vizzy from the team. And then Waterboy / Phenomoman, depending on who you added to the team, also don't have the debuff because they kind of just like sit on the sidelines and are like, well, we'll go with whatever the team wants. So everything is about to kind of go crazy, and also your team is debuffed. So have fun with that. So eventually, most of the Z team is ready to go, minus Invisigal, but they still can't get control of the situation. So Robert makes the call to bring in someone off the bench, either Waterboy or Phenomoman, depending on who you recruited earlier in the game. We have a cool little save the city bar that goes down for every failed mission, and it just seems like things are getting under control when we get a message that things are very much not under control, and then the map that we dispatch triples in size. What's up, Matt? Did you need something?
No.
Oh, I'm just stretching? Okay, cool.
Arms up.
So does that seem like too much? Well, great, because guess what? Now Sonar or Coop, depending on who you cut, is now also attacking the city with a ton of Red Ring gangs backing them up. They also have their own little bar that if it gets to 0 means we fail. So let's lay all of this out. The city is under a massive Red Ring attack, with even gangs that aren't part of the Red Ring equipped with Red Ring technology. Half our team is missing, and we have to find them by disabling whatever the Red Ring did to keep us from contacting them via the hacking mechanic. Our dispatch map has tripled in size, and we are getting a ton more calls. Vizzy is gone. The city will fall if we don't keep things under control in our giant map. Our ex-teammate is leading a group of supervillains and is also attacking the city, and we have to deal with all that nonsense or the city falls. What's up, Storm Rage?
If you didn't cut Vizzy from the team, she does come back. If you cut her, she does not.
Yes. So she gets cut no matter what, but if you support her, she comes back. If you didn't support her, then she leaves, right? Because isn't she cut either way?
How does that work? She's suspended, but
she's
so
suspended.
she's suspended
yes,
either
yes.
way.
Yes.
But she's not cut unless you cut her.
Yeah. So I didn't cut her. She came back. We still have the debuff though, which is a hassle.
Yeah.
So if you were awesome like me, you take care of this easy peasy lemon squeezy. Apparently, I missed my calling as a police dispatcher. If things aren't going well, though, Blonde Blazer will join the Z team, and she is like the five different stats. 3 of them are 10, and the other 2 are 9. So she is pretty powerful.
She also has some pretty awesome abilities too, where like it's just good.
Yeah. So I think she only joins if you are having a tough record on dispatching in the final dispatch to make sure you don't fail the mission, I believe is what it's for.
Yeah.
But
yep, she showed up for me in my gameplay because I was doing terribly.
Because basically, if you've done poorly or not great up until this point, your heroes won't have enough stats to be able to carry you through this section.
Yep.
So she's a catch-up mechanic, basically.
Yep.
So you're awesome like me. Great. You defeated Coop, and then the lights go out in the entire city. Nope. At the SDN headquarters where you're at. That the lights go out. Not the city, at your headquarters.
So Robert loses all comms with the Z team, and it looks like the Red Ring is here at SDN. Robert runs down to the hospital area within SDN to check on Chase, and he is still okay. He's in the coma, but he's okay. His vitals are normal. Robert then runs down to the workshop to check on the Mecha Man suit where we see Royd fighting with Invisigal. Roy claims that Invisigal is trying to steal the Mecha Man suit. Invisigal has brought the Astral Pulse with her. She claims that she was here to help save us. She knew Shroud's plan and wanted to give us a warning. Roy doesn't believe her and ties her up. He's going to go get the Mecha Man suit as it was moved out of the workshop. And Roy tells Robert to not let Vizzy go and bolts out after tossing Robert a taser, which Robert says, "I'm fighting the Red Ring, not walking home from the bar. What's this supposed to do?" Vizzy then immediately asks to be let out, and we confront Vizzy that she lied to us, or at the very least, did not tell us the truth. She tentatively apologizes depending on your choices and your relationship up until this point, but tells us that we need her. We look on the cams, and a villain named Thumbstick is coming down the elevator, and he looks terrifying. She says we can't deal with them by ourselves, and we can either choose to untie her here or not. What did you guys choose?
I chose to untie her.
I also chose to untie her.
Fantastic. I did as well, and so the elevator opens up, and when we try to untie her, we can't find anything. There's nothing sharp or any tools available, and it is because Royd has locked up all of his tools, and Vizzy goes, "Why would he lock up all of his tools?" And Robert says, "Well, Vizzy, maybe there's an invisible thief who keeps stealing things from him that he would need to lock up from." Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. And the thing that we find that is closest to something that can rip the zip tie, because it's not like a handcuff, it's a zip tie, is a pair of like crinkle cut scissors, like fun scissors.
Safety
scissors.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. So we hand her the safety scissors and we go to the edge of the door as she's trying to work with it. And Thumbstick exits the elevator, and there's this dark red light, this minor chord, the sting, and it's almost a jump scare for the first time in the game. And then we see him sprint down the hallway, and we quickly realized Thumbstick actually just needs to go to the bathroom. So he sprints to the restroom, and it's like banging on the restroom doors, but you need a key card to get access, and he eventually sees a potted plant and relieves himself on the potted plant. If we untie Vizzy, then we are going to sneak up on Thumbstick. Vizzy grabs the gun that Thumbstick dropped and shoots him. And if we don't, then we will tase Thumbstick ourselves. If Vizzy shoots Thumbstick, then you do have to make a choice about whether or not to assist Thumbstick now that he was or is in a compromising position, since he was incapacitated mid-urination and things weren't all put away, and we can either choose to help him ourselves or ask Vizzy to help him. And it's one of my favorite, silliest choices. Did you guys choose to have Vizzy do it, or did you get down and dirty with your own hands?
Matt, what'd you do?
I made Vizzy do it. I'm like, no, he's dead. He's I'm not touching him. I'm not dealing with that. She's like, fine, I'll take care of it.
What'd you do, Storm Rage?
I made her do it as well. It's very silly.
It's very funny.
Robert Robertson III is a kind-hearted man who took care of the man in the precarious position.
We continue on, and we cut to Royd, who is getting overwhelmed by just a bunch of villains. And just when it looks like he's about to fall, is that Mecha Man's music I hear? Mecha Man and Royd now have joined the fight, and they are taking it back. They're kind of pushing back against the villains here until, is that Shroud's music we hear? Shroud comes in with a massive spider-like robot, 4 arms, and where Robert's mecha suit is probably about 10 feet tall or so, maybe a little bit taller, this spider-sized robot is building size. It is somewhere between 5 and 10 times the size of Robert's robot. It is massive, and it is terrifying. Shroud is beating Mecha Man quite easily, and Shroud also reveals that Robert's father helped Shroud design the Astral Pulse, which is why no one has been able to build it since, is that it took 2 great minds working together in order to successfully design the Astral Pulse. Shroud is then attacked by Blonde Blazer, and just when it looks like she is about to get crushed, turns out It's an illusion. That's right. It's a prism illusion. And the rest of the Z team is here to fight. And the Z team basically takes on a number of the kind of unnamed villains. There's a section about the dude that we broke the arms of earlier, who is obsessed with now returning the favor and breaking our arms. And even Toxic is a little exhausted about this bit because he's like, yeah, hey, I'm Toxic. We're going to kill you all. And the dude in the back's like, and we're going to break your arms. And he goes, yes, we're going to break their arms and then kill them for the weirdest murder scene that has ever existed. Yep, that's what we're gonna do.
It's also great because he has 2 casts on his arms, just right, like it's so good.
My favorite moment before we get to like the ending is Punch Up versus Toxic, because Toxic goes up to Mecha Man and is like, looks like it's about round 2 and I'm gonna kick your butt. And he goes, actually, I had the perfect opponent for you, Toxic. And it's Punch Up, and he comes up and he's like warming up his arms, and he's like, and Toxic says, oh, what's this little guy gonna do to me? And Mega Man says, well, you see, he's got a special ability. And as referenced in Chapter 5, Punch Up's ability is related to both his height and his name of punching up in a specific direction. And as we have mentioned, Toxic, while who's to say what exactly he has, he does definitively have a black box that censors something and seems to be vulnerable to Punch Up's special ability here. And it got me so good. And I have to imagine that was a joke that they planned with Punch Up's name from the beginning, and I love it.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Like, they initially had the joke in the very beginning of the game. They teased it in episode 5, like with Punch Up's ability, and now they're just paying it off so well with this scene. It's so good.
It's all perfect and wonderful, and I love it. Was there a moment in this fight sequence that you guys loved or stood out? Because there's so many small moments between a lot of people.
Oh gosh. I think the whole fight is kind of amazing, because what's really cool about it is it's not like Mecha Man comes in and then just saves the day, right? So Mecha Man comes in and then kind of gets his butt kicked a little bit. And so it really is, what I think is so neat about this is it really is the entire Z team being the Z team. Like they're the superheroes now. Like this was the goal. Like they brought him to SDN to make the Phoenix program not an abject failure, and it was a success, because here they are out there just being the superheroes. They don't need him to be Mecha Man, because they're already that superhero team. It's really it's super cool. But Punch Up versus Toxic is what it is. It's so good. It's so dang funny.
Good.
It is so ridiculously funny. The entire scene is amazing. Shroud, when you realize what's going to happen, is amazing. Punch Up, like getting ready and like stretching, is amazing. It is so funny.
Later on, I don't have this, and I'm going to paraphrase this. We see another clip of those two fighting, and Toxic's just screaming, ow, my black box, my perfect black box. And it's so good. we then eventually have a long combat sequence against the person that we cut that has now been heavily amplified by Shroud's red ring technology. So it's either against Sonar or against Coop. I can't remember, who did you guys fight this time? Matt, who did you fight?
I fought Coop.
And do you want to talk about that fight sequence? What was it like?
It was good. It was intense. I think like Blazer was involved. Like it was Mecha Man Blazer was involved in some points. There was a lot of there's a ton of quick time of throughout this entire fight. There's a ton of quick time events where you have to slide your mouse a certain way. You have to hit the button a certain number of times. It's very intense. It was very good.
Dano?
Also was Coop for me, and all I remember is clicking the the circles and sliding the slides. I don't actually remember the fight because I wanted to make sure I got like a perfect score. So I was much more concerned about being successful in the sliding and the clicking than I was about the actual fight, which I mean.
So the storytelling on both of them is with Coupe. She talks about, hey, you cut me. I was an assassin. I was a murderer. I had all the skills in the world, and you cut me for some bat boy freak. How dare you? This is how wrong you were. And you can respond as Robert a couple of different ways. And the way that I did it is I just went, look, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, Coupe. I didn't want this to happen. And Blonde Blazer follows up and goes, look, you're still a good person. I know you are. This isn't who you are. And eventually you're able to literally clip her wings, and she falls down and is unavailable for the rest of the fight for Shroud. Against Sonar, you actually get taken down when he's in his bat form, and he draws you into the sewer. And very, very similar conversation plays out of him being offended and outraged that he was cut from the program. And the way that you defeat him is you take off this collar of his that is Red Ring implanted, and it reduces his ability to screech and to empower, and then he's knocked out for the rest of the fight as well. Really, really cool moment that kind of comes back full circle of here are the consequences of your actions. And these Z-teamers are not perfect. They're villains for a reason. When they're hurt, they react very poorly, and they act out, and they do what they can to make themselves feel better. And I think that that's a really good story point that is also very cutting. The fight eventually culminates with Shroud still overwhelming the entire Z team. And it looks bad until, is that Shrek Star's music? He's been given the amulet that makes Blonde Blazer, Blonde Blazer. And as a result, it has temporarily also taken him out of the coma. And it is the one thing that Shroud could not predict. And as a result, it is the one thing that opens up the rest of his weaknesses. With the turn of the tide, the Z-Team destroys Shroud's mecha suit. But when the smoke clears, Shroud is holding Beef, Robert's dog, by the scruff of the neck and threatens to kill Beef unless Robert gives him the pulse. Robert flies up and notices the failed prototype of the Astral Pulse is still in the suit. And you are given the option to either give him the real pulse, give him the fake pulse, or give him both. What did you guys choose here?
I chose to give him the real pulse because he would know what I did anyways. And so I was like, well, I'll just give him the real one, and then we'll just have to figure out what's next. In hindsight, not a great idea because it makes him like the most powerful supervillain ever. So you know what? Maybe not great. I did not quite understand the levels of power and also apparently Shroud is the one who like his power also then like feeds into the entire Red Ring. So by powering him up, you power up all of his henchmen.
Everybody.
So, oops, my bad.
Matt?
I gave him both because, and then Robert did the great scene where it's like, if I don't know which one I gave you, you can't predict which one it is, and you're just gonna have to take a guess. And it's great.
And
then
I chose,
Go ahead.
just because I thought it was this, I've played through this a couple times, and so it was the only choice I didn't make. I gave him the fake one. He immediately tosses it and goes, give me the real one. And I really like that the only solution is to just kind of out-dumb him of like, look, I don't know what's happening. Here you go. One of these is the real one. Good luck. And if you give him the real one, he powers up. If you give him the fake one, it makes him and all the Red Ring extremely nauseous. But if you give him the fake one, or if you give him the 50-50, then he gets sick, and out of anger, he tries to kill you. If you give him the real one, he realizes through his calculations that if Shroud does not kill Robert right here, Robert will lead to Shroud's downfall, so he has to kill Robert. And so as a result, pulls out his gun, shoots him, and if you have been a good mentor to Invisigal, who, by the way, at this point is fully revealed to have been a Shroud agent this entire time. Shroud sent Invisigal to work at SDN, to play Robert, to do everything. It has all been a double agent. And in this moment, if you've been a good mentor, then Invisigal will actually step between you and the bullet. And then Robert will go and beat Shroud to a pulp because Shroud doesn't have any weapons. He's just a dude, and Robert is better at martial arts than he is. And if you are not a good mentor to Invisigal, Invisigal will kill Shroud before that happens. And those are the two major outcomes. What happened for you guys?
For me, Invisigal stepped in front of the bullet, and are we talking about our choice of what to do with Shroud as well?
Yeah.
And I chose to not kill Shroud after beating him up.
Same.
I did as well, because heroes don't kill people.
Yep, you got it. So I guess, yeah, go ahead, keep on going.
So afterwards, in the aftermath, all the heroes celebrate a job well done. If we killed Shroud, then we have a brief moment with Mandy where she says, hey, you're suspended pending an investigation because you did a murder. If Invisigal took a bullet for Robert, then Robert escorts her into the ambulance while the rest of the team cheers her on. If you romance her, she will also pull you in and give Robert a kiss. If not, and if she killed Shroud here, then she disappears, and you do not see her again throughout the rest of the game. Mandy will then also talk with Robert and mention that she's given Chase the amulet until they find a more permanent solution. And if you romanced Blonde Blazer, then she will give you a kiss here as well. If you succeeded in your dispatch and you were able to successfully defeat Coupe or Sonar before the kind of failure indication happened, then you get to choose whether or not you want to bring back the person that you cut, whether it is Coupe or Sonar, or let them go to jail forever. What did you guys choose?
I didn't join the Z team, but can we go back real quick to Blonde Blazer scene here? So
Yeah.
if you dated Invisigal and not Blonde Blazer, this is the reveal that she's not a superhero like you. So she's sitting in her like workout gear with her like brunette hair and being 2 inches shorter, and you're like, oh, so like we're the same. And I was like, that's really a cool reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really, really neat. I chose to spare the person I cut and bring them back to the Z team. So
I did as well.
I failed, so I didn't have a choice.
Well, Matt, get good.
Yep.
The Z team then eventually celebrates, and Mr. Whiskey, the hero that we mentioned earlier, offers to take a picture of the Z team and credits.
that's a
Game
fun
good.
game.
Game good.
My grilled
Game good.
cheese.
Much.
What's our first good, Matt?
That final fight sequence with Shroud and Coop and Sonar. While it was like easy quick time events, it was a lot. There was a lot going on. It was very intense. I loved it. It was so much fun. What's the not so good?
The not so good is BioWare games are trash. They're bad games. They don't run well. Okay, a pass on Dragon Age Origins. It's an old game. There are no excuses for the other games. And also, you're not like selling Dragon Age Origins for like $3. You're selling it full price as you buy it on sale, and it just won't play on a modern computer. So you know what? No, there's no pass for any of these games that you've made. Like, do better, BioWare. Seriously, like woe is us. Oh, we don't get support. No, you just make bad games. You make bad games. End of story. Beginning, end. That's it. You just don't do a good job. You don't do a good job. What's our best good, Storm Rage?
The best good is the little moments of dispatch. we've talked about the broad plot quite a bit, and I think we've done a pretty good job of detailing what happens. But the beauty of so much of this game is not the broad plot, it's the small moments. It's the moments, like there's a moment where Invisigal is falling down and she's about to crash into the pavement when a portal opens up and she falls instead on her feet and backwards into Malevola, and they just make eye contact and they nod. And it's just really, really small moments like that that are so good. That's what make this game genuinely great, is those small moments that take just a fraction of a time, but tell so much story about how these characters think and feel about each other, think and feel about the moment, and the way that they deal with problems. And it's just delightful.
He asks each traveler 5 questions. 3 questions. 3 questions.
3, that's a magic number.
I will ask myself 3 questions.
What did you like, Matt?
The environmental storytelling, just like the dreary, gross rain on the episode right after we get the chase, where we find out where Chase is in critical condition, and everybody's down and everybody's sad. It's just perfect. It's just beautiful, beautifully done. Storm Rage, what are you liking so far?
I like that there are consequences to being bad at dispatching, but the consequences are so minor that it doesn't feel like it ruins the game. I think in some games, it's like, hey, if you're not good at the mechanics here, the story's gonna be bad. But really, the only dispatch difference is whether or not you get to forgive this person that betrayed your team, which you don't always want to do anyway. Like, truth be told, I let Coupe back in, and I do that 100% of the time. I think I still let Sonar rot in jail, because that dude is not a great dude. And I'm kind of fine with the crypto bro going to jail. And I like that there are consequences, but they are not significant consequences. Dana, how about yourself?
How much stinking fun that final dispatch is as things get out of control. Because it's just layer upon like, okay, there's just 3 of us, and 2 of the 3 are mad at me because I didn't kick Invisigal off the team when they thought I should kick Invisigal off the team. Okay, how am I going to get through this? And then you have the hacking scenes where then you have to you have to find out where your other teammates are and bring them in. And if you fail the hacking scenes, then they come in injured. If you're successful, then they come in healthy, unless they're mad at you, in which case they're still a little bit injured. And then you have, the map then gets bigger, and then you have the former teammate come in with the pack that you have to then fight. It just like, you have to make so many thoughtful and careful decisions about, because like they give you can send, I think, a good number of teammates on each and every one of these. So you can just overload yourself and get yourself into trouble where you don't have any available heroes, as like the board just goes crazy. So you have to be thoughtful about how do you use your powerful heroes that can, like, if you have Invisigal back, which ones can you send her on as a lone wolf? If you have Golem's, stretchy powers, how do you utilize his stretchy powers? If you have Prism doing like the dual thing, like using your hero powers the right way. It was really, really fun to know like how to send it out, how to kind of like, work through all the systems. It was a ton of fun. I absolutely loved that final dispatch. And it was, they did such a good job of like training you up to that point where you could kind of like make those calls or hear the missions that I can kind of take a flyer on and see how it goes. It's a ton of fun. Absolute ton of fun. Matt, what did you struggle with?
The only thing I struggled with, and this is a real minor struggle, and it kind of echoes what you said about Moist Critical and the other one,
Jacksepticeye
in this game, Jacksepticeye. It's like that the Matt Mercer voice coming out of Beard Guy just spoiled the fact that he was Shroud for me, because it was just like you don't have Matt Mercer just play a guy in a bar anymore, right?
I genuinely think that's why they do not have him speaking in the very first scene that we see Shroud.
100%.
Is
100%.
they know that voice is so recognizable that if they have him speak at any other time, it is extremely obvious.
Does he speak when he's kicking the pulse, kicking the inhaler around Invisigal? I don't think he
Nope.
does.
No.
The
See?
first time that we hear him speak is at the bar.
That's right. Okay. What are you struggling with, Storm Rage?
There's no season 2. It's done. We're done. That's
Yet.
it.
Not
It
yet.
sucks.
Maybe.
So I have good news about that, Storm Rage. At one point in the game, it does say from some of the makers of, and then lists 3 video games, and those are games I think we should add to our list of games to play. Because so one of them is Tales of the Borderlands, which I've been meaning to play for years now, anyways, and one of the other ones was also a really good, well-known game as well. So I think those are games to add. So even though we don't have season 2 of Dispatch, which is an awesome game, I think there are some more games to add to our list.
They also are supposedly going to be making The Wolf Among Us 2, which, if that's the case, we need to play that game.
Yeah.
The Wolf Among Us is awesome.
It was Wolf Among Us, it was Tales of the Borderlands, and it was one other game. And they were all 3 recognizable games. So, what am I struggling with? Nothing is nothing the right answer. It is. So nothing. I didn't struggle with anything. This was a ton of fun. It was awesome. It was perfect. No notes. Good job. What surprised you about the game, Matt?
The difficulty curve in the final shift. It just got insanely difficult. And then, especially when the map expands out and you're thin and Blonde Blazer comes in to save the day, but still somehow she's not enough. Yeah. And then the fact that that final dispatch matters, what happens with Cooper sonar, depending on how that goes. It's great. Storm Rage, what surprised you?
I was able to do this last shift without a single failure, and
Oh, wow.
I could not believe it. I had three missions that I probably should have failed because they were all sub 50%. One was 38, one was 42, one was 47. And I got lucky on every single one of them. And the sheer rush of succeeding, knowing that I could have failed at any one and it would have been fine, was exhilarating. And I cannot believe how exciting it was to watch that 36 get hit. It was great. It was great and wonderful and great. Dano?
I'm trying to see where I was on my last one. Shoot. I wonder how many. I did really well in the last one. I'm not sure if I was 90% in the last one. But it was a good one though.
I ended up, so my final score was that I was in the I was better than 90% of dispatchers across all shifts, and I was very excited about that.
Nice. I wouldn't be that because I had at least one shift in the middle section where I was 50% or something.
I did too, and it still put me in 90% overall. So you might be close.
Very cool. So what surprised me, just how many truly laugh out loud moments there are in this game. Moments that not haha, those are funny, you enjoy that, but laughing out loud, and then Sarah being what is so funny? Laughing until I cry. Truly amazing. Yes, thank you, Storm Rage. So the taser was shockingly funny. It was so ridiculous.
Shockingly funny?
Oh, hey! Water boy in the bathroom. First of all, that scene is just kept on getting funnier and so first of all, you have Robert picking the glass out of his chest, and then Invisigal shows up and he's like, what are you doing in here? And then starts flirting with him, and then poor water boy having to take care of business. And then it culminates with Fizzy just, you ruined this for me. It's so good. And then it's like Storm Rage, the Flambebe's song when singing karaoke. It's so good. Like truly so many laugh out loud moments.
And
it's
it doesn't
a hilarious
even
game.
work anyway.
It's just is an extremely funny game with a really good heart. It's
yeah.
I was genuinely shocked at how funny and heartfelt the game really is. Oh, there it is.
Game reviews. Game reviews.
You want to get us started, Storm Rage?
Dispatch is a game that does exactly what I want it to. From a narrative perspective, it wraps up every loose end that it creates, while also leaving the world open to several possible sequels. The voice acting is top-notch from the main characters, and they give the side characters who aren't as strong the right amount of content and the right type of voice acting that it feels natural as well. The progression of relationships throughout the story and the discovery of self is phenomenal. The fact that even the rude options still feel heroic is an absolute feat. There is no wrong choice. It's just what choice feels right for you. The dispatching aspect is way more fun than it has any right to be. If there was a game that was just dispatching, I would play it. If there was a game that was just the visual novel, I would play it. The fact that it is both is an astounding feat of gaming. The writing and the humor are exactly what I want from a game of this nature. It's beyond funny, and simply thinking of certain aspects has me wanting to cackle again. I love this game with all my heart, and I can't wait to give it some time so I can come back and discover the beauty of this gem once again. Matt?
Right. Yeah.
Dispatch is a fantastic visual novel that has all the right touches. Amazing humor, fantastic characters. It takes itself seriously enough that it works, and not seriously enough that it's like it's just funny. It's just funny. It's just perfectly funny. Writing's well done, and it sets up for future games really well, depending on how your world state ends up, honestly. But also, honestly, any way it ends, it seems like it works. Not surely how they continue with this story and this group of people, but I'm looking forward to seeing what they do in season 2. Gameplay-wise, I came in not expecting a whole lot or nothing at all. I just thought it was just a visual novel game. But the dispatch shift sections were probably my favorite part of the game. The banter between the characters, the little story that happens in the shifts, the little details are just shockingly compelling. Hacking was fine to fun at times. There was some really fun hacking sections. There were some sections that it just didn't work for me. It wasn't terribly difficult most of the time. I'm kind of curious how they expand that part in the future games. It's a game that I will probably play again if I need a good laugh or a good story, and I just have like an hour to burn. Like 45 minutes to burn, just play an episode of Dispatch and get back to it. This part of the game is extremely bite-sized in a way that's immediately approachable. Feels like an amazing adult-oriented couch co-op game you can play with friends or with somebody next to you. I really love all the characters to see and I really want to play it again to see how they get the bad Invisigal ending and see how the Blonde Blazer Blazer man, just absolute great game. Dan?
I mean, where do you start? Well, okay, I know where to start. So first, I cannot wait for Dispatch likes to become a genre of video game, and not necessarily like they need to be like visual novels, but like the actual dispatching of things. That was way too much fun. It was shockingly fun. It was ridiculously fun. It had no business being that much fun, and I cannot wait for it to become a thing. I'm very excited about that. Other than that, like what you guys all said, what both of you said, it was great. The game basically hit on everything. The story was great. The characters were great. The missions were really, really fun. I laughed. I didn't cry, but I had feelings, strong feelings, and it has good replayability. Like, it's fun to just go back and revisit things. Like, I've played some of these chapters already like 3 or 4 times, and they're still really fun. It's just a really fun, satisfying game. Honestly, if you haven't bought it yet, we've been just like over the past 3 weeks, we've been saying nothing but great things. I understand if you're not sure this game is for you. and if you think you might, I encourage you, please go and buy it. I don't believe that you'll be disappointed. If you are worried about disappointed, then just wait a couple of years. This game will eventually go on sale, I imagine. And then pick it up then. I truly believe you won't be disappointed. It is a super duper fun game. I absolutely adored it. Absolutely adored it. Should we head to our rankings?
Or I thought we had Salt.
Yeah.
Or are we doing rankings first?
I think we do rankings first, right? Then we do Salt. Is that right? Or do we do rankings
Okay.
after Salt?
That works.
Who's to say? Salt is technically here first, but I'm fine with either.
Well, let's go. I don't have a
right.
don't have a Salt rankings drop, so let's do rankings now. Matt, what is your what is your everything that's not in the top 10?
Obra Dinn, Darkest Dungeon, and Cult of the Lamb.
Storm Age, what is your everything not in the top 10?
Darkest Dungeon, Cult of the Lamb.
My everything not in the top 10 is Obra Dinn, Cult of the Lamb, Mass Effect 1, Dragon Age Origins. Wait, nope, sorry, that's not right. Sorry, that's not right. My numbers are wrong. Where's 10? There we go. 3, Obra Dinn, Cult of the Lamb, and Mass Effect 1. There we go. Sorry about that. Oops. All right, what is your number 10, Matt?
Dragon Age Origins.
Storm Rage.
Storm Rage.
Chrono Trigger. Dano?
My number 10 is Dragon Age Origins. What is your number 9, Matt?
Number 9. Mass Effect 1.
Storm Rage, number 9.
Dragon Age Inquisition. Dano?
Mine is Mass Effect Andromeda. Number 8, Matt.
Mass Effect Andromeda.
Storm Rage.
Storm Rage.
Life is Strange. Dano?
Chrono Trigger. Number 7, Matt.
Dragon Age 2.
Storm Rage.
Storm Rage.
Mass Effect Andromeda. Dano?
Darkest Dungeon. Number 6, Matt.
Chrono Trigger.
Storm Rage.
Storm Rage.
The Return of the Obra Dinn. Dano?
Weird, that should be much lower than that. My number 6 is Dragon Age 2. Top 5. Number 5, Matt.
Life is Strange.
There
Storm Rage.
you go.
My number 5, Dragon Age 2. Dano?
Mass Effect 3. Number 4, Matt.
Mass Effect 3.
Storm Rage.
My number 4, Mass Effect 1. Dano?
Whoa. Storm Rage. Did we have a change?
I said people would be shocked.
My number 4 is Dragon Age Inquisition. Number 3, Matt.
Dragon Age Inquisition.
Ooh. Number 3, Storm Rage.
I cannot believe that this game is in the top 3 for all of us. Number 3 for me is Dispatch. Dano?
Number 3 for me is Dispatch. Number 2, Matt.
Mass Effect 2.
Whoa, Matt! Which
Matt,
number 2?
this is so exciting. Matt, holy cow!
Number 2, Storm Rage.
Same as Matt's, Mass Effect 2. Dano?
Mass Effect 2. Number 1, Matt.
With a bullet. 1 in 6 shot. Dispatch.
Nice.
Wow. Incredible. My number 1 is Mass Effect 3. Dano, what's your number 1?
Life is Strange.
All right.
Should
So
we
the only-
rubric this?
Yeah, I'll rubric it. The only thing I dinged the game on, because the art and graphics, perfect, no notes. Game mechanics, perfect, no notes. Like the gameplay was amazing. Playability, amazing. I can play it back, amazing. The soundtrack, perfect in absolute moments. The story, perfect. Characters, only for the voice acting and because of Moist Critical, really, I gave it an A. That's the only ding.
How about you, Storm Rage?
I did S tier across the board, except for game, because I thought art and graphics phenomenal. It's beautiful. It's an incredible game. They made a great choice. It's incredible. Game mechanics was the only thing that I put at an A tier, just because I think that visual novels sometimes there were a very few small moments where like replayability. I think that there were some lines that were used in multiple scenes that didn't quite fit a lot, like the same scene in multiple ways. So I went from S to A. But characters, I loved every single character here. That's an S. Playability, not a single issue. That's an S. Soundtrack, the karaoke song alone would have made this an S tier.
Yeah.
But they do such a good job of always having that like heroic superhero music surge at the right time. And the story is one of my favorites. It's just phenomenal. So S tier on that one as well. Dano?
So for me, art and graphics was S tier. It was fantastic. Game mechanics, S tier was fantastic. Characters, I gave it an A tier for the same reason Matt did. I thought the voice acting was very like you had the world's greatest voice actors, and then like to be honest, like Punch Up was good. Punch Up was good.
Yeah.
Moist
Yeah.
Critical was fine. He was fine, but like, and I think in a normal game wouldn't have been noticeable, but like there were heavy hitters in this game, and so that one was a little bit jarring. Playability S tier, no notes. Soundtrack and story, I gave it both A tier, and the reason I did for both was so I have the soundtrack saved in like Tidal, which I use for streaming, but I'm like, well, if I'm going to listen to a game soundtrack, why would I not go listen to Life is Strange? And honestly, the story, I kind of comparing it to Life is Strange's story, the ending specifically, that choice at the end of Life is Strange, if I'm comparing the two of them, Life is Strange just hits so hard and is so real, that entire ending sequence. And so that's really the only thing, like, would they be S tier? Probably, but like if you kind of take it from like an Olympics point of view where they set an arbitrary number on the first person and then everything is graded around that. If I compare those two things, Life is Strange, it's like it's not as good for me as Life is Strange. So
I get that.
That's why they got A's. But honestly, this game is absolutely phenomenal. It's so good. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Shockingly good. I
loved it.
I never in a million years, Storm Rage, thought it was gonna be this good. I was honestly pretty not excited to play it. I was pretty not excited, and holy moly!
Yeah, I could tell because I proposed it like back in November, and everybody was like, eh, and then I was like in December, I was like, can we do it? And people were like, eh, and then in January, I was like, so we're gonna do it, right? And everyone was like, eh.
I was just like, no part of me was interested in this game. I have no problem admitting when I was wrong. I was wrong. What a game! What a game!
I'm just glad.
What a game.
I'm just glad we took the Dragon Age break for this. Honestly.
Oh goodness. Well, we would have anyways because we couldn't play Veilguard.
True.
Good job, BioWare.
Let's get salty!
All right. I've got the first bit of salt here. It's in German.
Do you want me to take the first one? I can take the first one.
No, I got it. So I'm gonna take the first one. Matt's the second one. You take the third one. It's kind of how we do this.
I can take the second. The second one.
No.
Looks good.
I'll do first. Matt can do second. You can do third. It's just that's how. It's just there's no reason to change up how we do things. I don't see any reason to change that up.
Absolutely.
It's a little weird.
Okay.
So German username says, "Game so good that while playing, I forgot I was frying nuggets and set the fire off the fire alarm. Absolute must play here."
Killer Rabbit says it was phenomenal. Man, no. It was thoroughly enjoyable experience. My only negatives, I had to prefer an option to completely skip the hacking minigame. This person is wrong. Also, PSA, little fist bump the person next to you while at a urinal. I can't believe that 93 players chose that option. This person's also wrong. For two reasons.
Storm Rage, can you get this last one here for me?
Yeah, I mean, I could find a different one. Do you want me to just like look and see if there's anything else? Maybe.
I don't think so. It seems like a lot of work. I think we can just go ahead and wrap this up. So yeah.
Okay. All right. It's from Dano Play. People keep saying SDN call times are rigged, and the superheroes dispatch screw them over. Turns out there might be some merit to it. I hate conspiracy theories a lot, but the third Robert Robertson has a patent describing how he gives motivational speeches to increase revenue. A rabbit hole worth exploring.
A rabbit hole worth exploring?
Next week, we eat a baguette, wear a beret, become mimes, and look at a crooked Eiffel Tower in Clair Obscura 33. Expedition 33. That's it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks to all our patrons for patronizing us. You can find links to our Discord, our content information, and a link tree in the description of this episode.
Dispatch is a game, and games that are meant to be fun.
Hey, keep up.
Is that how you're ending it?
Yeah, that's how I'm going
okay.
to end it. This match deserves a genuine, serious moment. So I'm not going to do a baby. I'm just going to end it with keep up. Because that is the line that will stick with me for so long.
Wow, it's very jarring.
We'll end the show now. I don't know how this works.
I feel like it's not over.
I don't. It's over. It's over. Okay.
We ended the show twice already. I mean, we had the false ending, and then we had the real ending, right? You know, for those of us who stick with it, right? Yeah.
It was truly a good game. I was Clair Obscura 33, another one, Dispatch 33, nope, not Dispatch, Expedition 33, another one where I wasn't sure what to expect. Beginning of this game, blown away. Woo-hoo.
Oh, yeah.
Cannot wait for next week.
Yeah. It's, wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So how much do you know about Storm
nothing
Rage?
other. I know the basic premise.
Okay.
And the reason why it's called Expedition 33. I know something terrible happens in like the first 10 minutes of gameplay. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's about where I'm at.
I came in knowing nothing about the game whatsoever, except for that it was turn-based combat. And that's a really fun way to go into video games, by the way. I've been like floored. People who say video games are bad now are playing the wrong video games, because I really feel like we're back to back right now on really good games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I've played like all of like an hour maybe, and it's been like great. It's just been great. It just hits you right away. It's good, very good. And also Dispatch came in knowing nothing except for what I saw on TikTok, and now I love it.
Yeah.
More dispatches, please.
One thing about Expedition 33.
All the dispatches.
One thing about Expedition 33 that I have loved so far is very much like a modern twist on classic RPGs in certain points, where you're like, that feels like a game I would have played in the early aughts, and how they introduced combat, or how they did, like, it feels very classic in a improved way. Very cool. It's like, what if Final Fantasy games had kept on being Final Fantasy games instead of like just whatever random ARPG they wanted to make that, year. So,
no, like very much like go into town, talk to everybody you can in town, and then move on. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, this was an absolute blast. I think that's it for this week. Thank you all so much, and we'll talk at you again next week.
Bye-bye.
Au revoir.
I was going to say, does anyone know how to say goodbye in French?
Goodbye, baby.
There we go. Now we can end it.